What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to the channel. Look, I have something very specific I want to talk to you about today, and I'm just going to get right to it, okay? We have a very specific task as in this world as followers of Christ, right? And what do I mean by a very specific task? I'm talking about the Great Commission that Jesus gave all of his disciples at the end of the book of Matthew, right? And in that Great Commission, Jesus sent all of his disciples out in his likeness. So all of his disciples were able to go out and make disciples of all nations. They were able to go out, cast out demons in his name, heal people in his name. They were able to teach people as he did throughout his ministry. But it's one thing that I think we forget as followers of Christ that we have to go through that he went through. And that is the crucifying aspect and the resurrection aspect. And what do I mean by that? Because I know y'all probably looking like, man, what is this man talking about? So when looking at the crucifying aspect, there are things inside of you right now that are deviating you from the path that God has you on. There are things inside of you right now that are detaching you from the kingdom of God. There are things inside of you right now that have become anchors, that have become dead weight, that is preventing you from elevating to the next level or season in your life that God has for you. And that very thing that has become a parasite in your life, that very thing that has become a hindrance in your life, that very thing that has become a blockage in your life, God is trying to crucify that very thing out of you. He is trying to remove that negative state of mind. He is trying to remove that lustfulness. He is trying to remove that impurity. He is trying to remove all of that greed that is blocking you from receiving the kingdom of God in the way that he intended for you to have it. Right now, a lot of you have spiritual gifts that you have not tapped into because of that, because of things that you just hold on so tight to that you don't want to let go of. And God is trying to crucify that very thing that you don't want to let go of. He's trying to sever that attachment that you have with certain people. He's trying to sever that connection that you have to certain things. It could be pornography. It can be gambling. Any type of thing that is deviating you and pulling you away from the kingdom of God. God is trying to crucify that very thing out of you. And the reason that he's trying to crucify that very thing out of you is because he's trying to give life. He's trying to resurrect the very thing that he has given you in your life. But it's hard for him to do that because of certain things that you don't want to let go of. I get it. It may feel good, temporarily for the moment. You may like how she looked. You may like what she said. You may like how he looked. You may like scamming. You may like gambling. It may be good for the moment, but you have to look past that moment and you have to look at the rest of your life. How is those things going to benefit you in getting in the kingdom of God? It's not. And those are the very things that God is trying to crucify out of your life. And you have to be willing to part ways with these things. I understand. I was a person, I held on to so many things in my life. One, because I was afraid to let it go. I didn't think that I was going to be capable of moving on. I didn't think that I was strong enough. I thought all of these negative thoughts. I was a person that dealt with depression. I was a person that dealt with anxiety. I was a person that dealt with suicidal thoughts. I even attempted suicide myself. These were the things that God was trying to get out of me, but I held on to these things because I didn't want to be vulnerable. So I grew up with anger issues. I ruined every single relationship that I had in my life because of the anger issues that I dealt with. Ruined every single relationship that I possibly had. I didn't know how to receive love from people that love me. I didn't know how to rationalize things and my emotions. I didn't know how to be the man that I am today. And I thank God for the transformation process that he has taken me through. But I didn't know how to do these things. And these were the very things a long time ago that God was trying to kill outside of me. He was trying to remove these things. He was trying to crucify these things inside of me so that he can give birth and give life to the person that I am today. It took a lot of heartbreaks. It took a lot of tears. It took a lot of depressed moments. It took a lot of anxious moments for me to be right here today in front of you on this camera right now. God is calling you to better in your life, but you have to be willing to let go of the things that have become parasites, the things that have become dead weights, the things that have become anchors, the things that have become a hindrance, a blockage to your blessing. God hears the prayers that you pray at night. He hears the things that you say in private. He is trying to answer those prayers publicly. He is. He wants to bless you. He wants to elevate you to newer positions in your life. He wants to do great things inside of you, but you have to want him to do those things inside of your life. And in order for him to do those things inside of your life, you have to let go of certain things that you want to hold on to. Look, I know y'all probably like, man, that's easier said than done. Look, I know. As a person that has been trying to do this for many years of my life, I know. It's easier said than done. But you will never know how easier it gets if you don't commit to the process. I'm going to say that again. You will never know how easier it gets until you commit to the process. It's the truth. And I just want everybody to find that fulfillment and feel that fulfillment that God is trying to give you right now in your life. Let him crucify those things out of you that is not feeding you spiritually, that is pulling you away from the kingdom of God, that is detaching you from the relationship that he is trying to build with you. And let him resurrect inside of you the very thing that he has given you since birth. He wants to do that for you. You have to be willing to let him. And like I said, one of the things is letting go. Then 2, let him answer the prayers that you've been praying at night. And I made a video about that earlier today, which I'm gonna post up on the screen. And it talks about you getting in position of your purpose. Right now, this is the season of your life where you're about to make that triumphant entry into the destination of your purpose. God heard all of those prayers. He did. And so he's trying to bless you right now and position you right now into the God-given position that he has for you. Just let him do it, all right? I love y'all, Safe House family, and make sure that you go check that video out about your triumphant entry into the destination of your purpose. I'm going to post it right here at the end of the video, all right? I love y'all. Be safe.